Masechta Sanhedrin Daf Nun Hey Amud Aleph. I'm just going to start from the top because I left out these words yesterday. But Hamshchav the Braisa Haba al Behema, one who lives with a behema, Ben Kedaka Ben Shalei Kedaka, whether it's the normal way or not, and the same thing. Huh?
Anyways, the behemoth is not kedaka.
Yeah, you're right. But he's saying that he lived with the behemoth. There's the normal way and the not normal way. And the Isha Maviyas Behema Allah, the top. And the Isha that brings the behema on her, Ben Kedaka Ben Shalei Kedaka Chayv. It's a hemshech from the last Braisa. I just want to say the words, I didn't have it yesterday. Notice Rav Nachman Rav Chizda. Rav Nachman Rav Chizda the Yadashin, by Isha. An Isha that's submissive to the behema. The behema is living with her. Shnei mishkaves. She's chayiv kedaka v'shalei kedaka, because a woman can be two ways, in the front and back. So he's chayiv for two either way.
So behema, two times skill I have to give her?
No, it could be one or the other. It doesn't matter which way he's going to be chayiv. Uva behema, a behema that's submissive to a man lived with the behema. Mishkav echad. They ish is only chayiv for one, for be kedaka. Because it doesn't say the lashon mishkavei plural, which means two types of ways. So therefore, it's one. Masculine apapa yes the kasha. There is shaloi kedaka by behema, but he says since it doesn't say mishkavei, Rav Nachman Rav Chizda is dashing. Since it doesn't say mishkavei by behema, man.
You talk about isha with the behema.
No, the behema, the ish with a behema is, he said there's only one. Kedaka, shalei kedaka, you're not going to be chayiv. But by isha both ways. The behema, the zazacha, that's with a isha, then you'll be chayiv for two. Maskara papadra, it should be just faket. Isha du'chehi amishka mechayiv. It says that isha, she has pleasure from if it's the normal way. So for mishka, she'll be chayiv. Amida machina, le mechayiv, but on something else, if it's from the back, which is not the pleasure, so it shouldn't be chayiv. Behema, it's a lavachu. He's never happy. It's not. It just wants to become uberes. Zabehema. So l'chayv Allah. I'll call nekav nekav. It should be chayv whichever hole it goes through. It doesn't matter because it's never having pleasure. So that's 2 days, right? No. So that's what he's saying. He's not going to get pregnant anyway, and it's made for pregnancy. So it's not. He's not having an either way. So, but he says only the kedaka is going to be chayv, and not shalei kedaka. Tanya, we learned the Braisa. No, I disagree on these 2 days. One says we're only by isha. There's the 2 ways, and by behema is 1 way. And one says dafka by behema is 2 ways. You'll be chayv for, and by isha is 1 way. We learned the Braisa neither. It's always 2 ways. Zacha ben teisha shana b'yem echad. A zacha that's 9 years and 1 day. Habal behema that lives with a behema. Ben kedaka ben shalei kedaka. So to a woman who brings a behema on her, ben kedaka ben shalei kedaka chayiv, you're chayiv for both ways, always. So it doesn't matter isha behema with a ish with a behema or isha with a behema. It's 2 ways always. It's always going to be 2 ways. Kedaka and shalei kedaka. What's the deal? Amara bezach means Mara is hara. Hara is machlik. What's hara? So we learned in Yavamis we learned. Others say hara is neshika. That the etzem zach the touches the place, the erva, it's already considered as bia. Another says no. The hatorah it's mus umfang abisl the hatorah arrange. Okay, so it says ma. What's the dit? So the Gemara says Amara bezach mishkevei isha ksiv. It says mishkevei isha. So mishkiv zacher means doesn't make a difference. Just like by a mishkiv isha, hara by isha is your chayiv. It has a din like bia, regular bia. So and we learn it says mishkivei. So mishkivei means even the way a zacher, a man lives with a male. So we learn out. So it's the same. It has the same din. The mishkiv zacher is similar to mishkiv behema. That the din of ever will apply even by hara. Hara means the beginning of bia, either the shika or the touches. Yeah. So what's the din with a behema? Till now we're talking about ayish metayish, ayish metaisha. What's with a behema? Amalei. Amalei. So L'cheira hara, that's written by Achis Aviv and Achis Imai, somebody who lives with his brother's sister or with his mother's sister, that there it says, Ki ese'edei hera, that his relatives, he had chilas bia, which is written by Achis Aviv and Achis Aim. We don't need it, because Bechlal, all Aroyas we learn out from Nida, that the din by Nida hara. Yeah, for mother's side it says, it ends off with the words, Ki es she'edoi hera. The relative he touched, and there the Torah says Yechayiv for that. I don't need a pasuk to tell you that Yechayiv for hera. All our royas are compared to Nida, which hara is already Chayiv. Here he says, Anu lemeidim sharon achshav es bia gam bechol sha'ar haroyes. As it brings out all haroyes. So I don't need a special pasuk about Achis Aviv, Achis Imai. Oh, so he says, since you don't need the pasuk, say it's extra pasuk we're going to use that even by behema, as a found even from the shika, the chilus bia, you're going to be chayiv for living with a behema. Mechti lama hakukta behema mechayiv mises bezdin here. Behema, if somebody lives with a behema, he's chayiv mises bezdin.
What is this,
Skila? Yeah, the meyamba. Lama li dechsil hara dida. So, fact, why do I need hara by chayav? Why is the pasuk implementing or alluding to hara from a case of chayav krisus? You're using the extra pasuk of achos aviv, or a man living with his father, sister, mother, sister. That type of haroyes is not misas bezdin, is misas kores, is chayav krisus. So it's the raisa, but it's not like Mrs. Bezdin. Mrs. Bezdin is from Bezdin. Krisus is that naturally he'll die before the time.
So it's higher? Is it stronger?
No, Mrs. Bezdin is stronger. So why are you alluding to learn out by behema for behema? That had always chayiv from which one? From a case of achos which is only chayiv krisus, which is actually learn from something that's chayiv means lichtevei. Let him allude from a pasuk, the Torah Zoshan the Isa Avara, Gabi Mrs. Bezdin, by a case of Mrs. Bezdin, and from Mrs. Bezdin, the Ligmer Chayom Mrs. Bezdin, Chayom Mrs. Bezdin. Bring Harad.
Which other cases is Chayiv?
There are many other Haroyas. He doesn't say which other cases, but he says, he brings down over here, Kol Haroyas Hamuris B'Torah B'Pashas Achrim, Yesh B'Hem Chiyuv Kos, V'Yesh B'Hem Shedinim Mrs. Bezdin. And he doesn't go enumerate it here. But there are those that are Mrs. Bezdin. But which one did you choose as an extra pasuk to learn out for by behavior Chai Bayra from something that's only Chai Krisus? He says you should have had a pasuk by Chai Mrs. Bezdin to learn out that Behema was just Chai Mrs. Bezdin. You also Chai Bayra. So if you want, I hear you. Good to Kasha, he says. He says this whole pasuk is a whole pasuk that we learn out limudim. And it's extra pasuk. By Achis Aviv, Achis Imai, we learn out many things. It's a full extra pasuk. It's like a double. He brings down over here. The pasuk is in Pashas Kedoshim, and then Lechizu Maza Shein is Amasha Shekva Yizira Atira B'Pashas Achrim Ma'is. That you have Achrim Ma'is then goes Kedoshim. The same Hazorah was already the same exact pasuk was in Achrim Ma'is, and then like a cut and paste another same pasuk in Kedoshim. So that whole pasuk teaches us many drashas. So we said it's already teaching us drashas. He says, "Well, use it for this drasha also." Even though it's chayv Mrs. Krisis, yeah. So you want to buy minei Rabachat Boy Barami Barabsheishes. Rabachat Boy Barami yes from Rabsheishes. Hamar be'atz memau. What's if and them the shlying by him, the petzl, and he brings it back to the back, all the way to the back.
Only had such a long one.
No, Shimshon Agiber. Says he had long that it went around a long city. It was he had a in the Medrash. Okay, sagt die mal am Lei Kwaston, also gescheides wechseln, du mit Zeier mit Tazar Scheile. So he's Kwaston, you being mit Zeier me with such a Scheile. Tzatani the Scheile so. That's how he ties in him. You being mit Zeier me with Tazar Scheile. Says Adon shall you talk mit Tzis. He says Azach was nicht reich mit Tzis.
Rav was so sensitive.
Yeah, am Rav Shashi, I just mighty boy look. He says, "What's your kash even? Le mashkach bekushi. Abe Davis kosh is hard. He's like mashkachta, like that's bechlal not shaykh that should be flexible to go around. Ki mashkach is law b'meshamish mace when it's not hard, when it's dead, like we call it. He calls it mace. Okay, so lemanda meshamish mace badois. Lemanda meshamish mace badois. But according to Manda, that says somebody who has tashmish mit ha'erev was his mace is potter. Hocha potter. So he is also potter. He's like mechanisch gescheiler. So he's not chayiv. Lemanda oma chayiv. According to Manda, he's chayiv. Hocha mechayiv tatim mechayiv ha'sheichach mechayiv ha'nishkav. He's chayiv ha'sheichach because he's from the front. And Nishka was get in the back.
Yeah, for himself. He's
For himself, chayiv too. Okay. Sagt you might have baby name have sheiches.
Jason didn't get excited about that.
No, why should he? Okay, over there, by uns is alles offen. But even there, what the Hashai used to work with a zipper open. That, but he used to tell him. It's open. It's by uns is alles offen. He said. But even they have sheiches with the effect. Hashai from have sheiches. Everything got my bala behema. Goy that lives with a behema. Now, what's the din? So look, let's understand what the shaila is. In our Mishnah, we learned that behema gets killed because there are two tonight. Number one, it was a mirshel. The behema was a mirshel that caused them to act in such a notorious way. And then we're coming, and it's a busha. Every time they see the behema, does the behema was yana di chaptaskila. So in order that this busha shouldn't keep on going on, mahagi the behema. That's what the Mishnah says. Two reasons. Says you're right. By Bnei Noach, he has the michshel by seeing the behemoth. Sometimes the Yetzirah gets arbeit stark. Aber Colin Leika, by a goy is shame. Darum shall I gekommen the bekach. They're not misbayish. They don't call the boss. It's not alive. And even if they are embarrassed, the Torah doesn't care about the embarrassment for a guy. Yeah, no, but the state doesn't care about the guy's embarrassment.
Did you see that the guy lived with the behemoth? No, that doesn't get him.
No, we're talking about embarrassment. It's not embarrassment. He says that
embarrassed?
the guy won't get embarrassed. The yid gets embarrassed. If he knows people are saying that he lived with this behemoth, or if he lived with this, that's embarrassment for him. By guy, that's a normal life.
He's already dead.
Who?
The man that slept with the behemoth.
No, we're talking about even before. But there's embarrassment for the actual Maisa. Guy is not embarrassed. And then even if the guy is embarrassed, we say the Eibishter doesn't care about the guy's embarrassment.
They killed him already.
That for sure not. But we're talking about before. Well, you're right. Or perhaps maybe in order to give the behemoth skila, it's enough takola that the etzem zach that the behemoth was marshal him to do the avera. That's shen genug to hargen in the behemoth. That's enough a reason to kill the behemoth. Shen kola, and even if he doesn't have an embarrassment. Says Gemara, I'll answer you. We already learned the answer to your shalom. Rav Sheshes always had a brisa. Rav Sheshes was called a Sinai. He was a bucky. Every time you hear a shalom, Rav Sheshes answers right away. He knew right away. Yeah. Sagt die Gemara, they don't eat. They don't drink. They don't smell. By Ilonis, no, but I mean like a physical states it. So Ilonis shalashira. Didn't have the zor to the Ilonis. So the halacha is even though the Ilonis itself is nishkin, it's not doing any act to, and nevertheless we destroy it, we burn it. It wasn't something that enticed you to do something.
Not like a behemoth.
But nevertheless, there was some kind of, the person had some streichlin through it. Did the tree attract him? The tree is not a behemoth. A behemoth can make up his tricks and make a person aroused. But a tree is a shtickle holz. Doesn't drink, doesn't eat, doesn't see, smell. And he says, and nevertheless, it's a takola. And he used that as a barizah. This is what the Brisa says. Somebody who comes and he at the right time bullet and He's talking. It's not like a tree doesn't talk anything. He's convincing him to serve Avodah Zarah. So Allah's kama sure he's going to be chayiv, to be burnt, to be destroyed. So from this brisa we see that even a piece of wood, which is which there's a small there's a takala, because the tree b'pel mamish, he served it as Avodah Zarah, but there's no embarrassment. What's embarrassment? An animal is walking around. Oh, this is the animal. A tree is in one place. It's
a lot of trees in the forest.
A lot of trees also, right? You're right. That's a good way of looking at it also. Elamiyata says, you're saying is enough to destroy the tree. So takala, the one thing is enough to destroy. In fact, how about somebody, a goy went and he serves the behemah as if he got. As if the Mitzrayim, the Sheps alach zayin given zeh geta. The Sheps in the Mitzrayim, the Sheps were their gods. So Titzu Mekatla, we should make it awesome. We should have to kill the behemoth that the goy served. In fact, mother, what are you talking? Shesha says, what are you talking about? Mi kemidi the liisolo yasa. By a yid who serves a behemoth as a avodah zarah, it's not also for the next person who's to use it as chulin. All the Gemara, all the pasuk it says is that if a yid served the behema, avodah zarah is pasama hakrava lemizbeach. Can't put it on the mizbeach. So it's like zeres hakasev dafka lemizbeach. But you can use it. You can check it and eat it. So madach for yid Yisrael didn't become asa. For sure, if a guy served as an idol, for sure it should be good.
Should be able to use it for
for your chulin, for yourself. So the money so cool for the expecting one stamashal. By a yid zol zayin eichatasa. Why did the Torah make it say zakasu? I don't know what kind of a kind. Neither the hava raviyah. Just like by raviyah, if a man lives with a behema has to get killed. Here he served the behema as idol, should get killed. Similarly, Abaye said there's a difference. If you're serving the behemoth avodah zarah, or you're actually living with the behemoth, what's the difference? When a person lives with the behemoth and it gets out there, it's a disgusting act that he did with the behemoth. It's interacted with the behemoth. What? He didn't interact with the avodah. So it's a smaller embarrassment. So therefore, by riba, you kill the behemoth if he lived with the behemoth. But by serving it, it's a smaller embarrassment. You don't. In fact, but there ain't kloinon, but by the tree that they served as avodah zarah, you burn the tree, even though there's no kloinon, there's no embarrassment. Ain't kloin maruba. He says not a lot of. There's very little kloinon, even less than serving a behemoth. The Torah says destroy, burn it, falentus, destroy it completely. So the Gemara of Balei Chaim Kamrinan. He says the kavanah of Abaya is that by Balei Chaim they made a chilik. The chos rachmana alayo. The Torah says if it's going to be a rachmanas, a behemoth is a balchai. So if there's only a little bit of kiloinon, a little bit of embarrassment, don't kill the behemoth. It's like a balchai. There's a lot of embarrassment, then shisses it up, then kill it. But if it's just a small embarrassment, but a tree is gone. I mean, a tree is nishkim balchai. There's no rachmanis. You can cut it and burn it. Rava says a little bit different. He says the Torah said only a behemoth that had hana. The behemoth had hana. So when a person interacted, when the person lived with the behemoth got hana. If he says a book the behemoth, the behemoth versteht nicht. It's like the Hund Machmer. They said, if you want to know if the chicken is kosher, bring the chicken in front of the dog. If the dog with billen is a treif, maybe this is kosher. No, not if he barks to eat it, then it's treif. If not, it's kosher. He says, Alamo, the Hund is a Rava Machmer. Every time he brought the chicken would get to in front of the dog had gebillet, barked. So the guy was tying to the Rav. Was geschickt as a Rav a Kelev. As a Machmer. Every time I bring a chicken, it's treif. A billet. Okay, anyway.
The same thing was a woman used to bring a chicken to her bahech.
Yeah.
If it's kosher or not. She used to buy it in Empire. She used to buy it in Walmart.
Okay.
He didn't see what's going on with it.
Right.
See, it wasn't if it's kosher. I don't know where you buy it. Oh, but it wasn't kosher.
That's right. Yeah. Sagt die Mutter, Rava Ma, I'm going to tell you Behema Hananis, Ma'aveda Tarik. Riba, when a person lives with the Behema, I don't know. That's when you kill it. When you serve it, there's no, I cooked it, he doesn't know it. You're bowing, versteht the Behema, versteht gar nicht. Are you lonis? Says you want to lonis, they ain't none of Ma'aveda, they're not, the trees are not having enough of Ma'aveda. And I'm going to tell you, Hashchi, Sreif, Chalid, destroy, burn it, the Falentus. You get rid of it completely. And there, the tree's not having a no, so why after by behema you say the behema only if it has a no, and if it doesn't have a no, it should be like a tree. Also, you should destroy it. Oh, so you want Balachayim coming on? He says the kavanah of Rabbi he holds also like a baya. By Balachayim the chos achmana aleil. But the Davish had achmanas when it comes to Balachayim. Toshma, come in here and I'll bring you a rifle now, Mishnah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, those guys. Yeah. Tashma, come in here and I'll bring you a raya from our Mishnah. And now we want to try to bring a raya. We didn't bring a raya from here. That takala alone, the reason of takala alone, is enough to kill the behema. Like Rav Shesha says. Where will we'll bring a raya from our Mishnah. Our Mishnah said two reasons. Davach, the Mishnah says another reason why the behema gets skila. Shaloi tehei behema iveres b'shuk. That this behema shouldn't go through the shuk. And the people will say, zuhi sheniska pleni ayoda. This is the animal that person got killed, got skilla for this. My love, is it or not? With the sefer, if the sefer is talking about two reasons, takola v'kolein, the sefer says that the only reason why we destroy it because there's sai takola, it caused a michshel and sai embarrassment. Reisha has to be a different case. Is takala b'lei kolan? Is a takala without embarrassment? Vehichidami, what would be a case that there will be a michshel and there wouldn't be a embarrassment? Says you want to only in which case there's no such thing as embarrassment. It's the way of life. He doesn't care, or the Eibishter doesn't care if he's embarrassed. So there's only takala. So we have a raya from here to the words of Rav Sheshes, that if it's only takala, then it doesn't get destroyed. Says Gemara Loy, it's not a raya. Sefer of the Mishnah is takala v'kolan. You need both reasons. In order to give the behemoth skila, you need sai. It should be a michshel, and sai that there should be embarrassment for the person. Reisha, ha kamash malam. This is what the Reisha is coming to teach us. The afilu kolan. Even if there's just embarrassment, but there is no michshel. What is that? He's still going to be chayiv. I'm sorry, before when I said potter, I meant chayiv. The reish is also chayiv, just with takala. Kolim beloy takala, not mechayv. The behemoth will be chayiv. How is that the case? Yisol haba al behemoth b'shoigig. A yisol that lived with a behemoth. What was the mistake? So Rashi says that he was unaware. Shahaya savur shahatoida eina oiseres maisazeh. He thought the Torah aset nicht zu leben mit abema. He didn't know. So Zamaretz, and he's a sheikh. Okay, so now his embarrassment. He did a disgusting thing,
So he feels bad.
but he feels bad. But he didn't think the Torah gives him punishment. So there was no takala here. So the kid, the boy Rav Amnuna, like Rav Amnuna, the fact the Shiloh, the boy Rav Amnuna. Yes, he saw a behema b'sheik. He saw that lives on a behema b'sheik, not knowing that it's awesome. Oh, what's going to be the thing? Takola v'kolen beinan. In order for the behema to be killed, do you need sai that it should be a michshel and sai embarrassment for the person? But over here, kolen hika takola leka. Here you only have embarrassment, but there's no michshel because he's a sheigeg. So he's not going to get killed anyway. He's not going to. So there's no takala. Or dilmo perhaps kolen alone is enough to kill the behema. Afal pishein takala. That was Rav Amnuna's kasha. So maybe that's what this reish is going on. Now you have no raya by a oivit kecham habal behema. So if you want, Rav Yosef Tashma, come in here. I'll answer you from here. It says, a girl that's 3 years and 1 day. So there's many dinim about a girl that's 3 years and 1 day.
You could Mekadosh her?
Miskadesh is Bebia, very good. You jumped. If somebody was Mekadesh or Bebia and she's 3 years and 1 day, the Kiddushin is Chal, is Teufels.
Remember Yitzchak, the guy?
Yeah, Rivka's given 3 years old.
Because less than 3 years old, Absalom returns.
Right, it does. So he said 3 years and 1 day, she becomes Mekadesh Bebia. The im, and if the husband died without children, and now the brother comes, Ba'aleh Yavam, and the brother of the mace lives with her, Kana, he was kind here with Bia, and she's his wife for everything. A third din, that let's say the father was Mekadesher to one person,
And now?
and he accepted the Kedushin for one person, and another person came and lived with her. So in such a case, that person is Chai Misa. He like Eishes, he is Eishes Ish. He lived with Eishes Ish. A fourth din, Umetama as Bayala. Let's say she became a Nida. She bled and he lived with her. So the man that lives with her Nida, when he sits, if she would sit on the sheets, she would be Metama all the sheets all the way to the bottom. But he's the Bayala and he's sitting on the sheets. It's only the top one. But it has a din like a Bayal Nida, like a regular Bayal Nida.
But not everything is mitam. It's just the top.
Only the man. But the woman would make everything. But it's considered Bayal Nida. Latame, Mishkev, Tachten, Kelyan. To be Metame, the one that's lying on the bottom, Kelyan, meaning only the top part gets tummy. It's like a Rishon L'Tumah. And it's Metame Oichlum Mashkim. Whoever touches it, but not other Mekalim. Nisas L'Koyin. Let's say she was 3 years and 1 day, and her father married her off to a kohen. Then the din is Eichelas Betuma. She gets to eat the tuma like any Eishes kohen.
100%.
Ba aleh echad ben Absalom. Let's say a goy lived with her, a cholol anos na mamzer. So
They didn't know she was raped?
she was 3 years and 1 day. She lived with him. No, willingly.
Oh, she wasn't
So
raped.
Sala b'biyas min akuna. She's forever puzzled to the Geona. V'im ba'aleh echad min ha'aroyes ha'amuris ba'toira. If, let's say, a brother is one of the haroyes, lived with her and she's 3 years and 1 day, mumasin al yada. He is Chai Mrs. Bezdin, the brother, for living with
She
her.
also? No.
Because she is not a bas oinshin. She's only 3 years and 1 day. But the brother who's an adult
Even though
gets
Not the
misa.
cases.
even though she was out with people, so she's...
She's not going to be punished. Right. So, Rabbi Yosef now explains the raya. What's the raya? The Mishnah says, if echad mikol haroyis, if one of the haroyis lived with her, so they get killed, right? The brother gets killed. And one of the haroyis is afilu behema mashma. When it says haroyis, gam behema hi. Rashi says gam behema hi achas maharoyis hamuris batera.
She killed the behemoth also.
So if she lived with a behemoth lived with her, so the behemoth gets killed. So a behemoth is also part of the haroyis.
So we see...
So we see by Ketana Bashol
Behemoth get also killed.
the Kolin Ika, there's embarrassment for the girl, Takola Leika, but there's no Michshel that caused her to get hurt because she doesn't get killed. She's ain't a bas ancient. And she's considered as a shegik. She's not with a full awareness such in what's going on. So therefore, you can't say there's a Michshel here, but there is embarrassment. The Maisa, she understands what happened.
So I think that's why they killed behemoth.
Oh, and we said we killed the behemoth, even though there's only one of them. Which one? Only Colin. So we have an ayah that Colin is enough to be to give skila to the behemoth. So Gemara, no, there's both. There's Takala here also, and you can't say Shegi she's unaware. Even the Bezide, she's amazing. Takala Namiika, there is the Takala, there is the Michshel of the sin. She knew exactly what she was doing. Yeah, we don't say she's unaware, she's aware. Alright, why don't we punish?
3 years old was smart girl.
3 years and 1 day, yeah, they figured it out real fast. But Rachmanu hu the chas Allah. The only reason why she's not getting punished, while the Torah hat Rachmana Sefer. V'rak Allah didachas. Only on her the Torah parted her from ha'inish. Abahema loichas. Abahema we're not going to have Rachmanas because there was both. There was the kol and the takol. So you have no raya. So you have no raya. One is enough.
I Balachayim was in German
Malachayim, but by Malachai we said if there's kolin and takola, you kill the behemoth. They're both here. Yeah. Amar Rabba Tashma, come in here. I'll bring you a eye from here. A cotton which is bentesha shana b'yom echad, a zacha, which is 9 years and 1 day. So there's different dinim. Abal yevimtoi. If this cotton lived with the woman that her husband died without children, so if she lived with this boy that's 9 years and 1 day, she's kind of to him. He cannot give her a get till he becomes an adult.
He becomes about 13.
How was he kind of her, but he cannot give a get? So the Mepharshim explain, because B'yivum, the kinyan that the Yavam has is not his own kinyan. It's from his brother's kiddushin. From before. But the Gedushin is only from him. As Nishkin Bardas. He has to be 13. And if he lived with her while she was bleeding, so he is matama her, right? He's a boil neither. If he sits on a sheet, he has a din like a boil who was boil anida, and he's matama the sheets. And if he was one of the psulim, let's say he was a goy, a cholol, a nasra, mamzer, and he lived with a bas koye, a paisel, she becomes pasul to kuna forever, completely, even though he's only 9 years and 1 day. And if he's a kohen himself, and he lives with the wife, with a woman l'shem kiddushin, ein machal, he cannot give a truma. Why can't he give a truma? He was kohen her. So the din is because the Torah says v'koyin kiyikna nefesh kinyan kaspayu. It has to be kinyan kaspayu, and by a cotton, he's not shaykh. He's not shaykh to have his own yet. So the place has a behema, and he passes a behema. If he lived with a behema, then the behema becomes pasal akrovis mizbeach. He can pasal the behema. Yeah. Yeah, but he can pasal the behema by just living with it. Niskeles al yodei. And then the behemoth that lived with him, and there were Eidim that saw it happen. So then the halacha you have to kill. If there's Eidim, you come in 23 in front of 23 dayanim and you kill the behemoth.
23 dayanim?
Yeah, we said Vim Ball of Yumas. Remember we had. So the Shoyer Sakel, the Shoyer is like the Ba'olav. It's as if the Ba'olav are being in court, brought into court. So the Shoyer has to be in front of 23 dayanim. We had it before. If this guy lived with his sister, one of the aroyis that says in the Torah, those people get killed, right? Over here, you're saying a behema is one, living with a behema is one of the aroyis, and when he lives with a behema, so we said there is only one thing: embarrassment. But for him, but Takala Leika, he doesn't get punished because he's not a Bahrain. And nevertheless, for Katani Niskel Sayada, we said that the behemoth gets skila if there's Adam. He's keeping the mesa to it. You don't say there's no Takala because he's not a Bahrain. Really, he should be a Bahrain. He knows exactly what's happening. Like we said before, by the girl, by the boy Kolshkain who was 9 years and 1 day, he knows exactly. The only reason why he's not getting punished because the Torah Tachmar Safab.
Because he's 9 years old.
Yeah, even the Mesa too, since he was a maid, the Takola, Namika, there is Takola. He knows exactly what's going on. Rachmana, who the Chassi love it. Now the Torah Rachman is Gatafab.
He's too young to die.
He's too young to die, yes.
You can put him in jail for 30 years.
Only this person, only on the boy, they had Rachmanas. Abahim Alei Chas Rachmana. On the Bahima that Torah didn't have Achmanis, there was both things. There was Takola and Koling. Right. Toshma, come in here, says Gemara. We'll try to answer the suffix of Rabnuna from our Mishnah. The Mishnah gives a second reason why the Bahima should get skila. Dova Acher, Shaloi Tehei Bahima Iveris Mashur. The same exact words we said before, that the Bahima shouldn't be going in the shuk. The Yomru and the people should say,
so many behemoths could be mixed up between the behemoths.
By behemoths, because they see the owner of the behemoth and they see the behemoth. Some people can also recognize behemoths also, but they say Zuhi Shemiska playing out the other. This is the behemoth that caused that person should get skila from it. My love, Tzudanish mit der Seifa is l'takala. With the Sefer, the color of the color. From this that we said the Sefer has the two reasons takala and color, and Reisha the color with light takala. The Reisha is color without takala. So how could you have a case that there should be only embarrassment but no michshel? Yisol habal behema v'shoygeg. If a yid lived with behema, like we said before, he didn't know that it's usher, so the embarrassment is there. He did a mice and nevola, but he thought it's mutter anyway, but doesn't make it ois mice and nevola. So you have a raya, you saw abba behema v'shoygeg. He says, you want to lie? It's not. You can't prove that the case, the diuk of the reish is a case of Yisrael that lived with a behema v'shoygeg. Loi sefer takala v'kolei. Reisha l'takala b'loy kolei. The reisha is a takala b'loy kolei, not kolei b'loy takala, but we'll say it's takala, a mirshel, but without embarrassment. How is the case? Ovid kachavim habal behema, a guy that lived with behema. Rav Sheshes, like they asked from Rav Sheshes, if such a case do you kill the behema because it only has takala but not kolei? He wants to tell you from the Mishnah. So he's saying you cannot bring a raya about one if it's takala b'loy kolei, no kolei b'loy takala. For Nunzer Mishnah, you can't bring a raya if it's going to be chayav misa, because you can learn it two ways. That the Reish is talking about kolei b'loy takana, or you can learn the Reish is talking about takala b'loy kolei.
Does X-rated